All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Closer's Corner podcast. My name is Greg Simpson. I am your host as always. And today I have Michelle El Ghazel in the house today.
What's up?
Yeah, so Michelle's one of our top agents here pretty much every month. So those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, the premise of this podcast is to explain to the general public what it takes to be a successful real estate agent, what it takes for our agents, not just our agents, agents in general out there, what it takes to become a deal maker and actually make sure the deals get to the closing table, get the money. You know, it's part of why we made our moniker the Deal Makers, because we understand what it takes to get these deals done. And I wanted everyone listening and watching to get firsthand experience from all of our top agents of what it takes to get these deals to the closing table, because it's not all what you see on Instagram and Facebook and social media. So, Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so let's talk a little about your real estate journey as an agent, because you really don't do any investing yet. You're strictly on the agent side. So let's talk a little about your journey. Is why did you get your real estate license? How long you've been an agent? Let's tell your story a little bit.
Sure. So I've been doing real estate for roughly 14 years. I got my license in college. I got into real estate because my parents were big real estate investors.
Okay.
They bought homes in West Chase.
Did you get your degree in real estate, if I remember?
I did.
Okay.
I got my degree from one of the top real estate programs across the U.S. From FSU.
Mm-hmm.
Go Noles, for all my Noles out there. Best college out there.
Football team, not so much right now.
Football team, struggling.
14 years ago, they were pretty good back then? Or no? Were they bad again?
They were good.
I
went to the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
After I graduated in 2003. So I went to the Rose Bowl, I think it was 2003 is when they went.
Okay.
So they were good.
They were good. I
They
can't
had
remember.
Jameis.
We've had up and downs, so.
Yes, that was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my real estate license in college. My parents were big real estate investors. They buy a home in West Chase, and then they flip it and get another home in West Chase. They build in Water Chase. And I've been doing real estate almost for the last 14 years.
Okay.
Did do a couple years in banking, and then took a couple years off to raise my two beautiful
Cutest kids, by the way.
I love them. They keep me very busy, but apparently I like to stay busy working in real estate in this market.
It's craziness.
Yeah.
So what led you, what led you to Outfast in the first place? Because obviously you've been in other brokerages and stuff like that, but what led you here?
Sure. So I had just finished I'm still raising my kids.
Yeah.
They're still 5 and 3. But I had reached the point where I felt comfortable putting my son in school, and I was ready to go into real estate again, full time. And the brokerage firm that I was with was very traditional. They take your cuts, they have their traditional meetings and their traditional support systems. But I was really looking for a company where I felt like home. I can fit in, I can be myself, I can be a little edgy without feeling like,
You can drop an F-bomb or an S-bomb and not feel worried about it?
Yes, exactly. Being in real estate, you sometimes tend to have a potty mouth.
Yes, and we drink a lot.
But
sometimes.
yeah, I came to Outfast because I was real intrigued by working with Greg. I really liked Greg, really. And the fact that I could keep 100% of my commission. I knew I had the ability to do all the administrative stuff as my own marketing and my own contract writing. I had that knowledge. I worked at Cushman & Wakefield, where I did all the back-end operational administrative stuff. So I felt comfortable and confident knowing that if I came here, it was going to be the right fit. And it's been, 13, 14 months of...
Just celebrated a year.
Yes.
Pretty crazy.
Yay.
And we had, 30 agents, I think, when you joined, right around 30, 35?
Yeah.
And we're at 85, 86 right now.
Wow, 85 now?
Yeah.
Now it's getting harder for me to stay on that top 5. I gotta keep on that top 5.
Keep chugging along, right?
Yes.
So, I think I've said this a couple of times on the podcast, and I think one of the cool things is that, we let you guys be yourselves. We let you guys do what you got to do to make deals happen. We don't over-govern you. We don't over-police you. Every once in a while, you might get a phone call from one of us saying, "Hey, yo," but it's rare. Because people ask me what my expectations are of them when they join. And I'm like, just don't be an asshole and don't hurt my brand.
Yeah.
And don't do anything illegal, obviously, because you have a license to protect. You're not going to do that anyway. At least I hope not. But just don't hurt the brand. Be yourself, though. And I think that our culture has also thrived because of that. In, our inner circle chat, we get to be a little raunchy sometimes. We get to make fun of fun stuff in their group, and I think that that's been a huge thing. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the 13 months that you've been here, 14 months, how many deals do you think you've done since then, just out of sheer curiosity? It's been quite a bit, obviously. I don't know if you track your metrics that detailed or not.
I do. I know this year I'm at 27 year to date, probably 35.
Yeah. It took a little bit of time to get ramped up back, obviously.
Absolutely. It absolutely does.
Let's talk about that ramp up period. You had obviously a great sphere because you've been doing this for a while. People know you've been an agent for a while. You took a couple years off, obviously, for great reason. Even when coming back, how long did it take to get your first couple deals really chugging along? A few months?
Yeah, 2-3 months.
So you brand new agents, please listen. Even as an experienced agent like Michelle, it takes time. And if you're afraid of reaching back out to your sphere or reaching out to them in the first place, you're really going to struggle. Because obviously Michelle came back and she's like, hey guys, I'm back. Like, she made it very well known to her following on Instagram and Facebook and her sphere. Hey, I'm back. Let's go. Market's great. Let's move. So I think that if you're brand new, you've got to understand the ramp up period, especially if you're brand new.
Yeah. Another good thing is to not focus on commissions. A lot of times you're a new agent and you're just thinking, ooh, my first deal, my first buyer, my first seller, my first lead, I'm excited. And you are so focused on that you don't prioritize the actual process. You have to work hard. You have to put in the time. Time, in my opinion, is the most important thing in this industry. It's how long it takes for you to respond to your buyers or sellers, how long it takes for you to put an offer in or go see a home. It is a big ramp-up period, but I probably had about 5 or 6 clients at that time, leads, so to say. And I did not think about how quickly I was going to close them. I just went through the process and put my clients' needs first.
So let's talk about the process, because you mostly work with buyers, right?
I do.
Which is more power to you, and I love that you do it, because you're very good at what you do, Michelle. But let's talk about that process. What does that process look like for someone who is looking to buy a house, right? Let's talk about that process on their side and as an agent as well, like what your process looks like, because that's the whole point of this podcast, is for people to understand what you guys have to go through, what that process looks like to make the deals happen. So let's dive into that for a few minutes.
Yeah, the process first is making sure that you are comfortable with your realtor and you're comfortable with your lender. When you're a buyer, the first thing you should do is speak with the lender. I have tons of preferred lenders that I work with, and trusted professionals that I trust wholeheartedly. I know they're going to work as hard as me. They're going to answer their phone at 9 o'clock to give me a pre-approval letter. They are 24-hour people, just like I am. So we are talking about the process, how it works.
Yeah.
Get your pre-approval first. Then
Is that as hard as it sounds? Because I think it's a big misconception, right? It's not as difficult as the general public thinks it is to get a pre-approval letter, right?
Pre-approval can take you 30 minutes.
Yep.
Not even.
15 to 20 minutes is the average, I would say.
Couple-minute phone call.
Yep. What you make, how much you want to spend, da-da-da-da.
Exactly.
Let's see what you got.
It's very easy and simple. It's not until you get to the loan process where they get more detailed and they want documentation and verification of the details you provided during the pre-approval.
Right.
But once you get your pre-approval, your next step is to contact a realtor, someone that you trust, someone that you know will go to bat for you, who's going to work hard and set you up on some auto emails. Once you get those auto emails set up, the agent will get copied as well as the buyer. And once those properties start hitting the market, the next step is to go see it immediately.
Yes.
Then after you go through finding some homes that you like, put an offer in, and then there's a long process after that.
Yeah, so let's talk about that real quick.
But
The urgency right now, and even in this market, I know it's cooled a little bit because of it's holiday season at the time of recording of this, right? It slowed down mostly, my opinion, mostly because of that. Maybe you have a different opinion, but still talk about the urgency. Like, you get that email, a house that you like, you love, you got to clear it right away. Instantly.
And
I think that's a big point as you guys watching this that are buyers potentially watching this. you have to be willing to drop what you're doing, even if you have a 9 to 5, and go see that house. You've got a doctor's appointment you forgot about, or you're going to take a quick little hour-long smoke break. You're going to go to lunch, whatever, immediately, because they're still flying off the shelves for the most part.
Right now, what I'm telling my current buyers is you have to act immediately. The same thing you're telling me, Greg, is really, really, really simple concept, but you got to jump on it immediately, because if you put in a stellar offer day one, off the jump, you might get your offer accepted immediately. It might be so good, they don't want to wait another 24, 48 hours. Wait until the weekend to get more offers, because they will get more offers.
Yeah, I think that one thing I will give you some credit for, you're very good at being creative in getting those offers accepted for your buyers. Like we've talked about this internally for a while, and in our inner circle chats and stuff like that too, where you said like what you've done to stand out, to help other agents on the team. This is how I've done it. This is what you should be doing to help make your offer stand out, because there's a lot of noise out there and there's a lot of BS.
There's limited inventory, surplus of buyers, surplus of, there's about 130 people moving to our Bay Area every day.
A day.
So there's a lot of competition. So along with time being one of the most important things in real estate, relationships. You want to connect with that listing agent immediately. You want to make them feel warm and fuzzy. You want to let them know, hey, I got a buyer. They're qualified. You want to work with me. I'm getting deals done. Let's perform and get to the finish and get to the closing table. So relationships are,
and that's what
building
Heather
those relationships with everyone, really.
Heather and I talked on a podcast a couple of episodes ago about how it's so important to have a good cooperating agent on the other side that has the same mentality. It's not about the commission. It's about getting the deal made and gotten to the closing table for both of your clients. That's your only job, is to facilitate the transaction. Your commission should be secondary. And I think so many listing agents and so many buyers agents are only focused on the commission. I want to make X amount of dollars this year, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to make that goal instead of meeting the goal of your customer. Customer.
Heather's right. You guys are absolutely correct.
How often do you see where it's not the case? What percentage do you think it is? Because that's, again, the premise of the podcast is to let the agent or people know that every agent is created equally too. So what percentage of agents out there do you think are not cooperative in getting it to the closing table? Is it 50? Or is it better than that? Or is it worse than that?
I mean, that's kind of a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
It's a loaded question because there's a lot of phenomenal agents out there, and I don't ever want to make it seem like there's not great agents.
Oh, there's a lot of great ones out there. I'm not saying that.
I mean, I would have to say there's probably about a solid 30-40% of agents that are, I mean, maybe even half. When I had a couple of listings, I would get offers, and I wouldn't get a phone call. I wouldn't get a follow-up. I wouldn't get anything from them. I would get offers that weren't written properly. And I was very surprised how out of 10 offers, maybe 3 were actually, maybe 30% of them were actually on point.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
And the crazy part is, like, obviously, if you're the listing agent and the buyer's agents are calling you, those 3 that stand out are the ones you want to work with.
Absolutely.
Because they've built the rapport with you. You already can gauge at this point how the transaction might go if things go, it's stuff we can control anyway, right? I think it's important that you guys listen to what she said about building rapport with them, like calling them and letting them know, hey, my offer is going to be this is why. Here's my buyer's information.
Selling?
Yeah, what's going on with the situation? Is it something we need to move the closing up because you need money faster? If we come in a little bit better and we can close faster, are we going to win? Stuff like that goes a long way, because the listing agent is going to tell the seller that, hey, Michelle's offer is going to be really good. Be prepared for it. So if it comes in as good as we think, or I think it's going to be, we might want to pounce on it.
Right.
Because the thing is, too, because there are also so many buyers out there, there are only so many good offers out there, too, like we're talking about. That's not the only house you're looking at.
No.
Because there are such a shortage of inventory. You may be looking at still 2 to 3 houses that you want to put offers on. So if you're a seller, you still have to act quick, too.
Absolutely.
Because there may be another buyer the next day, but that agent may not be as good as you or somebody else that is qualified to be the buyer's agent. So let's talk about some craziness, because I know there's lots of craziness going on out there right now. I love that she's putting her hand over her face, because
I mean,
we talk about this, so I know, but that's what we're doing this because the public doesn't know. They have no clue what you guys do.
We are in a historical market where buyers are having to sacrifice inspections. They're willing because they're fatigued. They're tired. They've been looking. They've been getting rejected, offer after offer.
Yep.
Sellers are not agreeing to repairs or concessions. They're saying, oh, I got 10 other offers back here. Take it or leave it. So some of the crazy stuff I've done, I mean, this year it's been quite interesting. I mean, I've had deals where I've worked with friends that I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm going to give them a phenomenal offer because I like them as people. They're friends. I want them to work with me. And then that totally backfired. I've also had, here's an example. They were willing to fix one door that wouldn't close, but they wouldn't fix the other like 3-4 doors in the house that wouldn't close.
What?
And it's like, I'm offering you like $20K over asking price.
What's a door? $100, $150?
You know, I don't know. You know, it's just, it was kind of frustrating for me that I felt like I gave them everything they wanted. Before it even hit the market too. That's one thing that's kind of been helpful for me getting deals done is following other realtors, finding them, seeing what they're going to post their next listing the next day. I'm like, I'm on top of it. I have a buyer for you immediately. Please accept my offer because we're going to get a deal closed, and I'm going to get you a really good offer. Some
Gotta get
craziness.
her the deal maker T-shirt.
Yeah, right? I forgot to wear it today.
It's okay.
Craziness. I've seen the day before closing, we do a walkthrough, and the water is pouring down from the ceiling.
Oh, my gosh. I remember that.
But I had a phenomenal cooperating agent on the other end. In fact, I'm going to shout her out because she works here at Out Fast.
Who was that?
Dawn.
We love you,
her.
Dawn.
I love you. You're amazing.
We got to get you on here next, Dawn.
But that deal was also very challenging too because there were, it was a flip. It was beautiful, but there were some things that needed to get done, and we cooperated together.
Yep, that's how it goes.
To make it work. But crazy. I mean, really.
What was the one I remember you posted on your Instagram? Like you had to go back like 2 or 3 times because like the pan wasn't maybe installed correctly or something. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
and they tried to repair it like 2 or 3 times and they still couldn't get it right or something.
Yeah. So they had a very small walk-in shower, and the shower head was directly into the door that opened, and it wasn't on an actual drip pan. It was just flush to the floor. And every time that you would open the door, or anytime the door was closed, the water was just spraying out into the actual bathroom and into the actual master bedroom itself. So had to keep going back for re-inspections.
Yes.
Because you want to make sure that it's done properly.
That will cause a major problem.
You have to be very specific on your repair request or any type of communication with people, because if you say, hey, fix the shower.
Sorry.
That's not going to fix it.
That's not going to work.
It's not, you have to be specific. But that was crazy. I've had, really just issues with like repair issues not being done properly and just having to get it re-inspected. Other than that, I really try to do my best to make sure there's no craziness happening with my deals that I can control.
Curiosity question here. How many, or in the last, because the market's been really nuts for the last, 6 months or so, right?
Yes.
What was you're working with buyers. Do you know, or is it maybe that you don't know because the agent hasn't shared it? Do you know what your most number of competing offers was at one time?
52.
52? Holy
52
shit.
offers.
Were they that underpriced or something? Or
no,
what, or
they
was
were.
That just...
This was probably at the beginning of the year. Okay. It's a pool home. If you're looking for a pool home, guess what? Everyone moving to Florida, they all want a pool home.
Great point.
The dream of being in Florida is having a pool in your backyard. Right? Okay. Sunshine all the time.
And you can't get them built right now, so you want one now.
And most people want to finance that into their mortgage opposed to shelling out $30, $40, $50K even more
Even
on
more.
a poll. So that agent had it listed for a whole week and allowed 52 offers to come in.
Why would you want to create that kind of work for yourself?
I don't know why.
Jeez.
But
60
actually, that same agent accepted my offer on my last deal I closed.
Okay.
Because
Very good.
I caught her on her Instagram. I saw that she was going to post a beach home. I said, I have an investor looking for a beach home. And I put an offer in before it hit the market. I saw it. I was in there for like 5 minutes because there were back-to-back showings.
Yep.
And I got really lucky and I got that offer accepted.
Ooh, yeah. So that's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So again, I think that comes back down to the point where it's really difficult to be a part-time agent. We were talking about this on the previous podcast as well. It's really hard to be a part-time agent when you're starting out or ever, really. You've got to find a way to work extra hard in the very beginning so that you can help service your clients and take care of them and get them their offers accepted or listing their house, whatever. You've got to be able to step out and act as a full-time agent from day one.
For sure.
Even if you're part-time. Like, you have to act the part.
If
and if
you're
you can't, then why are you doing it?
And if you're a listing agent, they're going to look at they're going to qualify you as the agent as well. It's not just the contract.
Correct.
It's the
Doesn't matter what
total
brokerage
package.
you're with, honestly. It's really what you can do for them.
It's the total package. It's who's the realtor, who's the lender. Is it someone they've worked with in the past? It's not just terms. So.
It's not. It's not. And I scream this all the time. I don't say when I say scream it, but I preach it all the time, is setting expectations from day one at every aspect of the deal, right? You got setting expectations of how the deal's going to get done on the front side, the process, right? Setting those expectations with your buyer, your seller, your lender, just setting that process or setting an expectation of how things are going to go is how it's going to separate you from the wannabes, right?
Yeah, if you're a part-time agent,
Right.
you're not going to understand
know what the appraisal process looks like.
You don't know what the market conditions look like because
You're not in it.
they're not in the thick
And
of
I'm
it.
not trying to knock my part-time agents that are here,
Agreed.
right? Because you're getting mentored, you're getting coaching from our top agents and whatnot. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about people that think they can do this on their own without help.
Yeah, this market's not easy for
It's
anyone right now.
Even if the market wasn't crazy, because the market's going to at some point flip. At some point, I don't have a crystal ball. I couldn't tell you whether that's a year or 2, 5 years from now. I have no idea. I don't see it anytime soon, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole today. But the point is, like, there's going to be a flip at some point, and you're going to need to know what to do at that point too. Because at some point, it will not be a seller's market. It will be a buyer's market because shit happens. Markets crash, markets correct, whatever you want to call it.
They soften,
and things just change. But going back to the expectations thing, if you don't know how an inspection is going to work, you don't know how to set those expectations with your buyer, right? Because the inspector's job is not to blow the deal up, but it's to expose the problems wrong with this house. And so if you don't prep your buyers and set those expectations with them that, hey, don't panic when you see this.
85 pages.
85 pages of pictures of this and descriptions of that. And if you're a home inspector, if you freaking put what things cost in there, don't ever do that shit. Sorry. You have no clue what that stuff costs. I had an inspector tell me that replacing the AC was going to cost $20,000.
What?
Dude, I kid you not. And it killed my deal. And I was like, no. No. I can have this replaced for you for $5,000.
I'll get you a quote for $5,000.
Literally, I can have it done for you. We'll fix it beforehand. They're like, nope. What else did you do wrong? I'm like, there's not an AC on the planet that costs $20,000 unless you're talking like a 7,000 square foot house where you got to put 6 of them in there. Anyway, point is that like that agent on that side did not set proper expectations with them. That don't freak out about anything that's in the inspection report. I'll walk you through that from that inspection report to show you what the real stuff is, the termite damage, the foundation issues, or roofing issues, the stuff that's not going to pass a 4-point.
Yeah, potential mold issues.
Right,
Yeah.
and same with the appraisal process. What happens if the appraisal comes in low? What happens if it comes in high? What are you going to telling them?
You're making money.
That's right.
You hired the right agent, and you got instant equity.
Exactly. I love seeing that when you guys post like, hey, we just closed on it. It appraised for $14,000, $20,000 over what we got under contract
You
for. I
know,
love that shit.
I had a crazy deal that I
Okay.
had a friend. She was a VA buyer. She only had like $12,000 in her bank account, and she wanted to buy a $500,000 home in a competitive market.
Okay.
So
We get a toot here, by the way.
yeah, two because she ended up walking away with only paying like $2,500 out of pocket.
What?
In this crazy market. Again, this was at maybe in January or February.
Still.
But it was a crazy deal because there ended up being mold. And
Like
we had
bad mold?
there was a leak and there was mold
There you
in
go.
the kitchen. And they ended up getting a brand new kitchen out of it too. So they were excited about that.
Did
They were
have to wait
happy
till
with
after they
it.
closed to get the new kitchen, or was it before?
We waited. Yeah, we waited. And
Waited
by that
out.
time, they had gained like 20K in equity.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I loved it. They walked away with only putting down $2,500 on a $500,000 home.
Fantastic.
Crazy. Anyhow.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So in closing here, I think that we've hit on a lot of really good points today about, why it's important to hire the right agent, what agents do to get these deals to the closing. Is there anything you'd like to, either educate a buyer, seller, or even an agent looking to get their license or maybe make a switch?
I really would just like to reiterate that this is a historical market we are in. I can't imagine anyone looking back and saying, hey, we're going to see this type of market again. Mm-hmm. If you're a buyer or a seller, please listen to your realtor. They're going to guide you the best that they can. They're not blowing steam up your butt by saying, hey, you have to put 10K in your appraisal gap. You have to do this. You have to do that. Listen to the experts. They have your best interest at heart. If you genuinely hired them and you trust them, I don't want any of my buyers to overpay if they don't need to. But I'm finding that some of my buyers, had they listened to me 6 months ago, they would have gotten a home for $425, and here we are looking at a home at $465. And had you given up that extra $5-10K appraisal gap, you would have earned it in a month or two.
Yeah.
Just being consistent. In this market, you have to be consistent. You have to be on top of things. You have to have that sense of urgency immediately. Yep. Do not get discouraged if you are buying and you're getting a lot of offers rejected. We're going to get there.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Mm-hmm. It will happen. The right property will happen for you. For my advice for investors, because I do work with some investors, keep making money with me.
Yeah.
But no, I love real estate. I love what I do. It's such a relationship business. Mm-hmm. You're helping people with their biggest asset. So it's amazing to have to do this on a daily basis, even if I'm getting rejected on deals left and right every single day. But
it's part of the game, right?
It's awesome. It's just the market that we're in. Mm-hmm. It's not always going to be like this. So
yeah, love it. Thank you, Michelle. So
You're
before
welcome.
I get out of here, though, I want to give you some super kudos because, you came on board a little over a year ago, and you talked a big game. And I'm always skeptical, right, when someone tells me that. And you had no stats to prove anything because I couldn't pull stats that far back. And you proved me wrong in a way because I'm like, okay, I'll let her prove it. And she did. But the bigger one I want to give you some kudos for is that you listened to what I have told you to do in a lot of aspects. And I'm very thankful that you did that because I know it's helped explode your business in respects. And
it really has.
Getting out of your own comfort zone and getting out from behind the camera and getting on social and on Instagram and telling the stories like we're doing today. I'm uber proud of you for that because it is literally, I've watched you grow as a person and as an agent.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
And
I couldn't have done it without you. I really could not have done it without you because I know.
Seriously.
Can I get a napkin, please? Because it really is. Me personally, I don't like to be the center of attention. I don't like all eyes on me.
Yeah.
I just don't. So
I didn't used to be either, but I know what it means for our business when because it's just a necessary evil. My wife hates it. I sometimes hate it too because we have to be front and center.
Yeah.
But if we're not front and center, we're in a sales business. We just have to be. And you've done it. Keely has done it. Salem has done it. So many of you guys have taken that advice, and I appreciate it because I know what it did for your business. So congratulations to you on that aspect too.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome. So if you found value out of this podcast, which I know you did, Please make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube and on iTunes and Spotify and pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast. Give us a rating, give us a review. It really helps us get our message out there. There is no better way to help us than to do that. Thank you again, Michelle. And we'll see you next time on the next episode of the Closer's Corner podcast. Out.
Bye.
Back. Hands up.